You're watching the ABM Video Network. Business information at work, online, on demand, and on the money. And on your desktop every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Hi, I'm Mark Flythe, and thanks for watching. This morning, we're privileged to be joined by Tim Weller, Group CEO of Incisive Media. In December of 2006, Incisive Media's $550 million management buyout of the former ALM was one of the most talked about B2B M&A transactions of the year. Backed by the $20 billion private equity fund Apax Partner, the UK-based publisher followed the ALM acquisition with the purchase of V&U's European B2B properties. When matched with some of the other online jewels in their chest, like ClickZ and Search Engine Watch, Incisive is emerging as one of the dominant global business media players with enormous opportunities for expansion into North America and Asia. Tim spoke with us from London recently. He started off by sharing his sense of some of the ways that the evolution of content delivery systems has impacted opportunities for business information vendors or companies that deal with data-driven content.
Well, it's quite clear there's been a substantial change over the last decade in the way in which content can be delivered, both locally and internationally, and there's been a very sizable and significant convergence between the technology vendors in the market and the information vendors in the market. So the growth opportunities available to you really depend on the types of data and data offerings you have and how you then deliver those data offerings. So if you look at the sort of four basic types of data, you can start with the sort of static data, books, and journals. Now, clearly, the growth opportunities for those are fairly limited because you're going to be selling those on a one-off basis. But as you move up the value chain, the growth opportunity is higher. You move into dynamic content, database-driven content that can either be delivered online or historically used to being delivered in a CD-ROM format. But of course, clearly all online properties will now have a dynamic element to them. Moving forward though, clearly if you're producing tools that get into the workflow, the growth opportunity there is even greater. And finally, the fourth sort of step, sea change into the types of data that business information vendors are looking at is the sort of end-to-end solution where actually you get into not only the workflow of the industries that you serve, but you get involved in the transaction. And if you're involved in the transaction and can facilitate the transaction, there are clearly more opportunities for growth, both locally but internationally.
Smaller to mid-sized publishers or business media companies make up a healthy portion of ABM's membership. And Tim shared some strategic insight on how they might approach developing a larger global presence utilizing business information.
If it's a smaller company and they don't have deep pockets and they're looking to minimize the risk, clearly they need to look at ways in which they can partner through an affiliate marketing program in a similar way to maybe exhibition companies or conference companies build their brands. They look for media partners, so identify those partners in those markets you serve internationally that have media assets and partner with them. But I think the other way through clearly is to look to build resource on the ground, to try and create your own, if you don't affiliate market, if you've really got a substantial opportunity, to build your own sales force locally and to have local knowledge is absolutely, I think, imperative to build long-lasting value.
One of the questions on everyone's mind is the current state of the economy, and Tim talked about the impact on his company as well as some of the strategic implications for the industry.
Within the Incisive Media business, we're blessed with having some end markets that we serve that are not that impacted by the general state of the economy. Law firms' revenues, for example, grow through the cycle. So there's an end market that's a pretty positive backdrop for us. On the other hand, we have real estate and mortgage properties within our business which have been substantially impacted. And it's unlikely that we would in this time look to invest significant amounts of capital in those markets, those tougher markets. However, annuity-based businesses, subscription-based businesses, the longer you leave the investment, the larger the loss of the opportunity. Because like a snowball, so literally going down a mountain and gathering momentum and getting bigger and bigger, the quicker you start, the more you make over sort of a value-creating period. The mantra we have within Incisive Media at the moment is to put maximum effort to where we believe we have maximum reward. The last thing we want to do at the moment is be busy fools, because there's no doubt we are in a very difficult economic environment.
As with any kind of growth or expansion, there's risk involved, and he touched on some of the strategic challenges that C-level executives should weigh carefully before exploring or integrating rich data opportunities into their business models.
The key challenge to any traditional publishing business that's moving into sort of data-led publishing activities is to find the expertise and resource and the knowledge and experience of how to manage these different businesses. They are very, very different types of property. There is a limited pool of exceptional talent available, and all business publishers, all business information companies are looking to move up that workflow pyramid, the value pyramid. Technology and the understanding of how to use technology would come after that. And technology, as I've already suggested, is just continually evolving and changing, and making sure we have the people within the business to keep pace with that change so that we can take advantage of the change is critical.
Tim will moderate the Business Information Mining the Hidden Treasures panel at the upcoming ABM FIPP B2B World Conference. And we asked him about the relevance of holding this global event here in New York City.
I might say something controversial now. I don't really think it matters where the conference is held. I was lucky enough to chair the FIPP conference that was held in London 2 years ago. Again, being probably a little bit too patriotic, it's quite clear that UK businesses are pretty global in their outlook. If you look at United Business Media, Incisive Media, Euromoney, Reed, just to name a few businesses, they now have very sizable operations in North America and in Asia. But to be fair, it is clearly appropriate that the conference is held at this time where globalization is sort of top of the agenda in the city where the largest publishing businesses, information businesses in the world are located and headquartered.
Thanks again to Tim and the staff of Incisive Media for helping us to produce this interview. You can hear Tim in person at the upcoming ABM FIPP World Conference taking place September 7th through 9th at the Roosevelt Hotel in New York. Just click on one of the ads on our homepage or click the events button at the top of the page for more information on the speakers, panelists, and agenda, or to register. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.